Ever since the dawn of time, mankind has wanted a Sonic Mania review.
Where's my Mania review? Review.
And every reviewer in the land reviewed Sonic Mania to very high acclaim. I like this game very much. This game is very good. I want to consummate my marriage with this game. But there was one man who had slightly different opinions than that of the other reviewers. And that man was JonTron Clone 47, RadicalSoda!
Oh boy, this sure is a game. If only there was more of this old Sonic to play. Because this is just grand. Good stuff. Good. God damn it, I can't keep playing, this is terrible shit! Great Hitler in every goddamn corner! I'm gonna end it all, man!
Hey there, hold on now! Don't end it all just yet! How about I show you a great, new classic Sonic game?
Wow, this sounds good.
I'll start it up for you!
Oh boy, Green Hill!
Living in the city.
It's like a roller coaster.
It's that time for the fabled Sonic Mania review. As you can see, it's the time. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't have anything to say, I just happen to be standing here. Oh gee shit, look at that! It's Sonic. Boy, has he been through some rough stuff recently, but I thought it'd be nice to do a video on what I assume everybody tends to think of as a good game. And that's what Sonic Mania is. Good game. But there we go. Do I really need to explain myself any further? I don't think so. Okay, it's not quite that simple, really. Firstly, I don't think I have quite the same hype-filled energy that others do over the game, and I'll get to as to why, but I think that a better place to start would be, instead of instantly launching into what I don't like, I can start with what I do like. Now, I finished the game with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, each with all 7 Chaos Emeralds, so I know what I'm talking about here, alright? First of all, the game's solid. Looking at it by itself with no other reference, it's a solid game, and it's fast, it's fun, it's colorful, it's just genuinely good. I like how smooth the animations are, I like how intricate the levels are, how they have plenty of platforming but more than enough speed parts too, blending them together to create a fun experience overall. Now, looking at the game with reference to other Sonic games is an entirely different story. If you look at Sonic 4, the actual sequel to Sonic 3, this game looks 10 times better, what with Sonic 4's level count of, well, 4, and then you gotta buy a whole new game to get the other 4. And then the wonky physics and the just generally uninteresting music, which I have a hard time remembering other than the... It's easy to see why Sonic Mania is held in such high regard. Now, looking at it as a Sonic fan, and you'll notice all sorts of Easter eggs and references that other players just won't get, it really is a game made by fans for fans, which kind of sucks for new people, but whatever. Sega does? Does what, make crap games? This one is pretty good, though. Looking at the game as a Sonic fan is also not the greatest in certain aspects, which I'll get to. But for now, I want to point out the music by itself. It's absolutely fantastic. There is not one track I do not like in this game. I was listening to T-Lope's stuff for a while before he was announced to be in Mania, and I couldn't be more happy that he's who Sega picked. I mean, just listen to this shit. I mean, just damn. You can just literally just slap it in a Sonic game and it just bam, right there, done. I mean, we all already know that Sonic Mania is a good game, right? Right? Yeah, it is. Instead of just reviewing this game as like any other YouTuber, I thought maybe I'll just, skim on the good stuff. Because, I mean, we already know it's a good game. I mean, so I think it'd be a lot more interesting to go over the parts where I think maybe not a lot of the people might agree on. Or maybe they do. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not an expert on this subject. So, first of all, I don't think Sonic Mania is a 10 out of 10, or even a 9 out of 10. I don't know, maybe an 8, I don't know. It's hard to come up with a solid number for this, for reasons I will express soon enough. But, and that was a good take, so I'm not just gonna recast that, I'll just cut this in and just splice it in. That's not the fault of the developers, you know, Christian Whitehead and T-Lopes and Headcanon and whoever else worked on this game. I think that's more the fault on Sega, or the people in charge above the development team. I think I bring this up way too often, but Sonic needs variety to stay fresh and exciting. In fact, my favorite Sonic game, Sonic Heroes, has no overarching world or story that linked to the levels because they wanted to keep it the same vibe from the classic Sonic games. You could be at any place at any time just randomly, and it didn't need to make sense because nobody cared. On the other hand, Adventure and Adventure 2, Unleashed, and Forces, they all built a world and created levels befitting them. Adventure has some cool levels, yes, but a lot of them don't have anything too Sonic-y about them, aside from the loops and stuff like that, you know, beach, city, volcano, casino, forest. Adventure 2 did it a bit better. You have stuff like Metal Harbor and the Ark levels, and Unleashed did it really well. At that point it was very different from the classic style design, but overall it was fresh. We hadn't seen a lot of the ideas, mainly because Sonic hadn't trodden into a world based on our multiple cultures. It always just been some sort of American-based city, or in 06's case, Italy? Is this Italy-based? Now obviously I don't hate this style of level design, it's not my preferred choice, but we've gotten some good stuff out of it. Forces tried to do the whole Unleashed thing, but failed horrendously, giving us Green Hill 9 times and just generally retreading old ground. And it didn't help that it didn't control well either. It tried creating a world out of something which didn't need one. For one, Green Hill has been established many times that it's on an island, not on the mainland. And just take a look at this.
We can't let this thing get to the chemical plant. Keep it busy there as long as you can, rookie.
Firstly, how the heck is that giant enemy crab gonna get to the chemical plant when it's floating in the middle of the goddamn ocean? And secondly, why the hell are you defending the chemical plant? Isn't that Eggman's territory? Isn't that why you infiltrate it just 5 minutes later on? It'd be akin to taking the Heroes levels and trying to make a world out of them. There's a casino city with giant bingo pinball tables floating in the sky. Then there's the giant frogs and pumpkin ghosts and gravity switches and big-ass alligators. Could you imagine any of that in Forces? Of course not. The game doesn't have a creative bone in its body. I mean, apart from the big-ass alligator part. Damn, Victor, you looking fine. Sonic Mania thankfully doesn't do this. It doesn't try to create a world and, you know, have the levels surrounding that, like the aforementioned games. Instead, it does the exact opposite and just throws a bunch together, kinda lazily in my opinion. The classic Sonic games have never been super clear about level progression or how you're getting from stage to stage, but Sonic 1 had the whole, you know, nature to technology theme. Sonic 2 didn't have that quite as well, but you could still kind of tell the levels were getting more and more dangerous as you went. And Sonic 3, they started showing, you know, the way you get to the next levels, just through a little cutscene. Going from Angel Island to Hydrocity Zone, you'd fall down a hole. Hydrocity to Marble Garden, shoot out of a different hole, and, you know, so on and so forth. Mania does this too. Sometimes. Occasionally you'll get a cutscene of Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles moving to the next zone via a cannon or being shot up from a sewer, and then you'll have the Phantom Ruby cutscenes where Eggman will just transport you to another place, whether that be in the past or not, I can't really say. But we do travel to the future at one point, so as far as I'm aware, Stardust Speedway's first act might be Eggman trying to trap you in the past. But in other levels, there's no transition whatsoever. Hydrocity springs to mind. You go straight from Stardust Speedway on Little Planet, mind you, which I might also add pops up out of nowhere. I mean, seriously, why is it here? Straight to Hydrocity, which has been previously established that it's under Angel Island. And after Hydrocity, we're just in the air suddenly, with Knuckles. Where the heck did he come from? Whoops, and he's gone again. And I mean, what was the point of that? Aside to give people the chance to edit in, oh no, to their gameplay. I don't know whether this was cut content or not, but it's really the only explanation I have for some zones having transitions and then others not. A couple of times I found myself confused as to how far in the game I was. Because of this back and forth of old stages, I could never really put my finger on how far I'd gotten. I mean, after all, Hydrocity is the second stage of Sonic 3. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a classic Sonic game, so that kind of stuff isn't super important. I mean, whatever. As long as the difficulty keeps steadily rising and we get a bunch of cool new levels as we progress, it's fine. But we don't! Sonic Mania is 2/3 old levels we've already seen. Some sources say 40% new, and that's a lie. I don't count the Egg Reverie Zone as it's just literally a boss arena. So that leaves us with 8 old stages and 4 new ones. Takashi Iizuka was the one to suggest that they include reimagined old stages instead of all new ones, and damn does it bring down the game. The Mania team did try hard to make these old stages new and exciting, and for some they really did, they truly really did. Like Green Hill Act 1 is a goddamn chore to sit through again, apart from with Knuckles. But Act 2 is fresh, it's got new mechanics and water parts, it's a shame it wasn't, well, something else. I want to go through every level and give my thoughts. I have a strong hatred for Sega's reuse of old levels over and over again with every game, so keep that in mind. But it doesn't bother other people as much as it does me, at least I think so. So again, just keep that in mind. So, Green Hill Act 1, as I said before, why even begin with this? You had a good thing going with Angel Island Zone, why bring us back to Green Hill? Doesn't the Phantom Ruby create alternate realities, essentially? Why not have a brand spanking new Angel Island theme? Maybe cover it in crystals, or make it night, or shit, make it snow or something, I don't care, just don't Green Hill again! I'm assuming the team was forced to basically recreate the original stage because it's pretty much just that. It's got a new boss at the end, which is really the only original thing about the stage, but just... come on. You had Generations, and then Lost World, and then Forces and Mania. Why do we gotta see Green Hill in every single Sonic game now? Act 2 was a lot better, as I already said. It's not even really Green Hill anymore. I mean, look, if I changed the grass to another color, you could almost call it a completely new stage. Which I would have preferred. Then, Chemical Plant's back again. God, Green Hill I can kind of understand. I don't like it at all, but it's the first ever Sonic level, you know, whatever. But why the heck does Sega suddenly have a hard-on for Chemical Plant? Again, it's pretty much the same layout in Act 1 as the original, which is, again, needed. Why? If I wanted to play Chemical Plant, I would go play Sonic 2! And again, in Act 2, the team really tried hard to make it unique, what with all the jelly and all. But again, the obstacles could just go in another level. One based in a laboratory, perhaps? Egg Laboratory Zone, maybe? Then we have Studiopolis. It's great. It's new, it's exciting, it's got cool ideas and great new music, and then when it shifts into Act 2, you're in a TV studio, that's fucking genius! Flying Battery makes a return right after, and it's not as glaringly copied and pasted as Green Hill and Chemical Plant Act 1. The second act even makes use of the outside of the ship, which is a really neat idea. But again, and I hate that I have to keep repeating myself, could have easily been a brand new level. You can tell the team is holding back here. The big bosses are spiders. How about a giant flying silk ship? The egg cocoon. You know, you got bug enemies and then web traps. I don't know. Press Garden Zone is next, and while I didn't really like Act 1 at first, it really grew on me, and then Act 2 comes along and it's all like, what, you thought that first act was good? Well, take a look at this! I mean, damn, this is a really pretty stage. It's probably my favorite just from the aesthetics alone. And then we have Stardust Speedway. I'll give them this, it's got a completely new layout, which is a godsend. CD's layouts are atrocious, so I can safely say the stage isn't quite as... well, not bad. I wouldn't call any of these stages bad. They're all fun, and I do want to make that clear. Even Act 1 of Green Hill is still fun in a purely technical sense. It's a good level, I just hate playing it over and over again. Anyway, Stardust Speedway takes some notes from Marble Gun Zone, and it feels almost completely new, maybe just because I didn't play CD too much and I never really spent too much time in Stardust Speedway in general. Act 2 was fine too. The level itself can be a bit overwhelming in certain parts, but I can't imagine you could take away the trumpets and still have it look as, you know, Stardusty as usual. It's made perfectly clear that the Phantom Ruby sent us here in the past, which is weird because I have still no fucking clue what this thing can and can't do. Can it make you time travel? Can it teleport you? Did the Chaos Emeralds at the end of the game change it somehow? We're never told any of this, so I think the Phantom Ruby is a terrible, terrible item in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. But anyway. After Act 2, we're sent to Hydrocity Zone. And, I mean, as I said before, weren't we just on Little Planet? The Phantom Ruby didn't do shit, so how are we here? I personally think that Hydrocity is the weakest zone in the game. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something just feels really off about it. It feels empty. You also have traps from Labyrinth Zone, being the moving spears and the rising platform, so that doesn't help, but the only real new mechanic introduced is quite frankly annoying. It's a very slow bubble. I get that it's referencing Sonic Chaos or Sonic Triple Trouble or whatever, but gosh dang, I hate this thing. And yes, I also know the Easter egg. If you hang onto the hook here and you do the Sonic 3 cheat code, let me just... Sonic 3 cheat code. What the heck's the code? What do you mean they patched it out? I didn't even get to use it! The bosses here really aren't all that special either. You have a really cool idea with the piloting Eggman's mech, but it's a very repetitive fight. And the Act 2 fight starts off really cool, but it ends up the same as the Act 1 boss? From the original? Can I make that clear? That's from the original Hydrocity? Yeah. I don't know why I feel this way about it. It's not because it's a water level, because I love the original Hydrocity. Something just feels so lifeless about it. I don't get it, I really don't. If you got any ideas at all as to why I feel this way, I know you can't read my mind or look into my subconscious, but goddamn, did anyone else feel this way? After that, we have Mirage Saloon Zone. Now, this is just essentially the plane level in the game. I think a full train level could have been really cool instead, but hey, what you gonna do? I don't really like going through Act 1, although Knuckles doesn't have the plane ride, so his is pretty fun. But Act 2 was brilliant. Again, just really cool ideas here. They took the unused desert level from Sonic 2 or Sonic CD or whatever. I really don't care, don't bother telling me in the comments. And they made something special out of it. You've even got a hard-boiled heavy fight right here. I haven't mentioned any of them yet, but I don't really need to. I mean, it'll transform into Fang, Bark, and Bean. It's a cool idea, but it's also probably the easiest fight in the game. And then after that is Oil Ocean. I don't have a superb knowledge of this stage, so I can't tell what sections are old and what are new, but it's a fine enough level. It feels more like what Oil Ocean could have been, rather than a remix with a few new things thrown in like Hydrocity or Chemical Plant. The Act 2 boss is annoying as balls, though. I have no patience whatsoever, so that just led me to dying a whole bunch here as Knuckles. It also didn't help that he can't jump as high, so getting back onto platforms was more annoying than it should have been. Speaking of that, if you play as Sonic or Tails first, then Knuckles, you will notice the lower jump. It can get incredibly frustrating at times where you could easily make a jump as Sonic or Tails, but you gotta figure out a workaround as Knuckles. It can be fun doing this, don't get me wrong, but if it's just at the height you can jump in and then you fall, it can just be a bit annoying. Think of Knuckles like the hard mode. The levels are a bit less forgiving for him in the sense. Then we have Lava Beef Zone, and for Act 1, it's the same weird feeling I got for Hydrocity. Not quite as bad, but I still felt something missing, like it just didn't belong. Odd as that is, it's still a fun level. I don't like how the spinny elevator things don't keep their momentum, but that's just a small nitpick. Act 2 is much cooler. You get to see some really cool background detail before it's swallowed up, which is a little disappointing, but you know, whatever. Metallic Madness, another CD level after that, and it's okay. I mean, again, I didn't play much CD, but I do know the level design has been improved greatly. I can also see a huge difference in art styles going from this level to levels like Studiopolis or Mirage Saloon. Maybe that's why some of the stages don't feel quite right. I don't really mind this level too much. I don't find myself going back to it at all, but it does have some really good music in Act 2, so that's a thing. Speaking of Act 2, the boss there is also really neat. Props to whoever thought of that. And the last zone is Titanic Monarch. It's another great new idea. Construction to the giant robot scene in the ending, although at some point in development they must have scrapped the fight with it because there was an unused model in here somewhere. Anyway, it is a fun level. You got cool mechanics from the Sonic 3 bonus stages and the such. Yeah, I mean, it's a good final level. I don't see anything wrong with it, really. It's kind of Metroidvania at one point, where you can choose where you want to go, and that was a neat idea. Something that hasn't been done in Sonic before, so good on you there. And then the final boss, if you have all the emeralds as Sonic, is held in the Egg Reverie, a sort of null space, if you will. I mean, it's cool, I'll give it that. I especially like that you can switch from flying to running at will. That's a really neat idea. I wish they would have put that into the regular levels, even though it would break them entirely. But as a final boss, I'll take Doomsday any day over this. You're fighting Eggman and the hard-boiled Heavy King at the same time, but Eggman's just in a modified Eggmobile, and the King is just using these energy balls that he fires at you. Although it is more difficult than anything else in the game, so it was nice to have a challenge thrown in there. Then after the fight, Sonic enters the portal to you-know-what, so it really doesn't feel like a proper ending. I think the ending without the emeralds is better if you ask me, even though it's got barely any animation whatsoever. That's something I do want to bring up. I know Sonic games are notorious for being rushed, and call me, you know, whatever the word is for just trying to make bad things. What is it, pessimist? I think it's pessimist. But some of the parts of this game do feel rushed. The lack of scenes between levels, the really abrupt ending with almost no animation, the jumping back and forth between Little Planet, which isn't explained at all, and then suddenly the final level just being set there, which was really odd. The sudden Hydrocity weirdness, although that could have just been me, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it was fully realized. I feel like the team probably wanted to add in more stuff before they had to ship it out. Of course, I could be completely wrong, in which case, well, then the issues have no reason to be in there, really, so take that as you will. I want to point out the music again. As is the case with most Sonic games, every track suits its paired level perfectly. Again, T-Lopes did an incredible job here. He even watched one of my videos. I know he did that, so I'm really happy about that. Anyway, I also want to give credit to the level designers. You managed to make me enjoy a CD level, which is a feat and a half in itself, so well done for that. Of course, there are a few more small gripes I have with the game. First is the collision. Occasionally I'll get stuck in the wall or in the ground. Mostly not so bad that I'd have to restart the level or anything. I can usually just jump out of it, but it did happen once where I got stuck in some lava and I didn't die for whatever reason. So you may notice stuff like that happening occasionally. Tails as a buddy seems to suffer the most from this. I've seen him get stuck on the floor, unable to get out, and even die from just seemingly nothing. Although I think that happened when I was collecting the last emerald as Sonic, which I didn't record, so that's unfortunate, but you'll just have to take my word for it. The next issue I have is with Blue Sphere. Oh yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. Now, I like Blue Sphere enough, I even went and collected all the gold medals to see what I would unlock, which was a feat and a half in itself, and one where I was not too fond of Blue Sphere by the end of it. And imagine my surprise when I unlocked more Blue Sphere. I'm gonna do it! You can't even pick a certain level or anything, it's just more Blue Sphere. I really enjoyed the 3D special stages, so why not give us some more of those? Or even the option to play the ones we've beaten. Maybe a 2-player race version with, you know, you can pick up some items and the such? That'd be cool, maybe for Mania 2? And also the fact that they keep appearing even after you've completed them all is also a bit annoying. I found I had to stop all movement once or twice while I waited for the portal to disappear so I could continue without having to go into it, just to have to run into a red sphere. Also, I need to check something, because I don't know whether the Sonic Mania checkpoints... Let me check. Yeah! What the hell's up with that? Yeah, what's up with this, huh? Well, what's up with the Sonic Mania checkpoints? The Sonic 3 ones are really cool, and then you got the Sonic Mania ones back to the old, just a circle with nothing on it. Well, what happened to the star, huh? You shoved it down? It's not worth being on the top, huh? Pff, biggest mistake of your life. Oh shit, somebody modded it in. Oh, holy crap. Well done, modder. Don't know who the hell you are, I just found it on Google Images. And that's kind of it. I can't really think of anything more that you guys don't already know about the game. Clearly it's been such a long time in between the game coming out and this video that I thought doing a review where I'd be like, Sonic can jump. He can also spin dash. He's got the new drop dash, which is pretty cool, I might add. It's a nice ability as long as with the other abilities that you can also, you know, choose if you like. That was a good idea. Glad of that design, because I do like the static shield, although I find that it's not quite as useful as in Sonic 3. Don't know whether that's because it has less frames or something, but I don't know. I always find myself screwing it up whenever I use it. Along with the add Knuckles mode, which is also a really neat addition. I think everybody wanted to play with Sonic and Knuckles as you go. You can even make Knuckles glide if you use the same ability that you use to make Tails fly, which is just up and jump, I think. So I thought I'd give you guys my thoughts on the stuff maybe other people didn't agree with so much, because I thought that'd make for a much more interesting video, as I said before, with the gap in between Sonic Mania and this video. There's really no point to just going through this regularly, because I mean, you already know my thoughts already. I had 3 videos of gameplay, and it's a fun game. It's just a genuinely fun game, even with all the things that hold it back. As, you know, if I wanted to play Green Hill, I would play Sonic 1. If I want to play Chemical Plant, I would play Sonic 2. If I wanted to play Hydrocity, I would go play Sonic 3. I never see the point of bringing back old levels, but now with the 2D stage, it's made even more apparent that they're just not needed to come back, because you can do less with them now. Even though they somehow did more than Enforcers. So I don't know, double-edged sword there? I don't know how to explain that. I don't know, man. That either just proves that my point was either wrong, or that Forces was so unimaginative that they failed at doing that. Okay, so before I get onto another giant tangent, because that wasn't even part of the script, I just want to say, what did you guys think of the old levels coming back? What did you think of the new levels? Did you enjoy them? Did you think they were bad? I think they were really good, by the way. Just saying. And did I come up with anything that maybe you guys hadn't thought of before? I'd love to know. I try to read all the comments, so go wild! Oh, and also tell me, can Super Sonic still do that weird bubble bounce technique he could do in Sonic 3 if you pick up a bubble shield and you tap it and he kind of just hops along the ground like a bouncy ball? I'd like to know that as well. I could probably do it myself, but I can't be bothered at this point. I just beat the game with 3 characters, so... I mean, and that all being said, I mean, it's still a good game. It's still an enjoyable experience, as I said, and I mean, I would recommend you buying this over Forces. And when I say that, and every time I'm afraid, because Sega takes things so literally, I'm not saying I want more 2D Sonic games. I want more 3D Sonic games than 2D Sonic games, believe it or not. Even though Sonic Mania was 10 times better than Forces, I don't want more 2D Sonic. I want more 3D Sonic, but I just want it to be good. I just want to make that clear. And please, Azuka, let them do what they want next time, okay? Follow me on Twitter, please. Link in description.